Hello everyone and welcome to another Mission Makers vlog. Today's episode is called Big Operations. Now big operations are a little bit different, both creatively and mechanically. Now obviously your idea for a mission has to be a bit more simplified since you are working with a larger group of people and you have to take into account that 40 people are going to have to be on the same page as opposed to 10. Due to that, you're going to have to make the general idea of the objective fairly simple so that everyone can grasp what they're supposed to be doing or what they're supposed to be working towards. If you make an objective that's too complicated, you risk having people not really knowing what they're supposed to be doing or not really understanding the objective that they're going after. Now, something else that is really important for mission makers to realize is that you have to have confidence in your enemy unit placement. If you're not confident with the placement of enemies that you've put down, then maybe you should reconsider them. You have to not be able to babysit every single engagement since there may be 3 or 4 engagements going on at once. So you have to consider carefully which ones you look at, which ones you place down, and which ones that you can really trust and be confident in. It's important to use certain scripts on occasion where you may want someone to stay inside a watchtower, or even using Ares to garrison buildings or set up patrols. It's a really good idea to learn a multitude of different ways to get the AI to do exactly what you want them to do without having to personally and physically make them in Zeus. It's also a good idea to set up these missions far in advance, usually at least a few days, so that you can really grasp the idea that you're trying to create and really think about it in retrospect even, in case you decide or realize that there are changes here and there that are needed. It's important to do this because when you're presenting to a large group of people a mission, you really need to make sure that it's a good one, because otherwise you're going to have 40 people upset, which is worse than 10 people being upset. That's also why you have these creative restrictions now in a larger mission, because you can't focus on as many scenes at once. You have too many variables, too many people, even sometimes too many assets like attack helos and tanks and such that you can't really take into account what they're really going to do. You can only react. So obviously you would have less scripted sequences. You would have more scenes that they can walk upon and figure out themselves without you being there, and obviously in a situation where you have a large group of people with a platoon lead and a commanding officer, you're going to have not as much communication with the players, considering that even as a mission maker you can only probably talk to the CO or platoon officer. This can sometimes lead to confusion or for people not doing exactly what you expected, but learning how to overcome and make the best out of a situation regardless is what makes a really good mission maker. Someone who can make a situation of mistakes and turn it into one that looked like it was on purpose, or a situation of not expecting the players to take a certain route or do something in a certain way or do as well as they did or as bad as they did, and being able to turn it around and either find an explanation for it or be able to make a better mission for it. So that's all I have time for today. I know this is a short one, but I know I had a short hiatus here. If this is way in the future, then it was a 2-week hiatus between this one and last one, but that was due to a bunch of changes in strategic gaming. We had mod pack change and switching to advanced medical system. It's been sort of eating up my time with scripting and template changes, but nonetheless, hopefully these episodes will become more frequent now that I've figured out a system and I'm able to create episodes in a quiet environment, because at college a quiet environment is not as easy to find. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.